Is a great question. The first time that I felt like that, I would, hmm, I don't know if this was the very first time, but it was definitely a moment where I was like, this is bigger than me. And on the first year anniversary of Paul's death, I decided to give a talk. I don't know. I do crazy things like this, right? Like,
I say you're brave. Like, that's tough. Wow.
I decided to give a talk in the place where we had our wedding reception, nonetheless. I know, Christian, I
You
don't
just
know.
like a challenge, don't you?
I do. I do. I love a good challenge. And so, I invited folks out and I was just like, this was my way. And I didn't call it resilience at the time. I can't remember what I called it. I actually need to go find that document and
Okay.
see. But like I had a document, had somebody come out, take pictures. And I was like, I told the audience this was my way of giving back to people, that if they were navigating something difficult, that number one, they didn't have to do it alone. And number two, they can use that pain to like give to others. And so I have continuously found a way to use my pain to like pour back into other people. And that's the only way I know how. Like, I'm a social worker by education. I have, acted in the role of a social worker in various ways, but I think I social worked my life to a certain degree. And if that makes sense, it's like I took the things that I learned in school, I took the principles that I understood, I implemented them for myself and my daughter. Like, okay, we're going to go to therapy, we're going to do certain things. And then it was like, well, what do you do with this hurt, this pain, this emotion? Well, you turn it into something. And so that's how I know how to cope. I don't know how to I cry. I'm a big crybaby. Like, I cry all the time. I can't believe
Healthy.
I made it through that TEDx talk without crying, truth be told. I was not sure how I managed that. But I'm like, I cry all the time. But even in the midst of those tears, I then say, what is the next thing? How do I now turn that emotion and give it back to somebody else?
Would you have said that that was the point where you started thinking, this is what I need to do with this pain, or did it happen earlier than that?
I think it happened earlier than that, because within the first year, I had become a co-author. I was a part of a book anthology around single parenthood, which I was, when someone approached me about it, I was just like, what? I was like, it didn't make sense. But at the same time, it also made sense because I know that solo parenting, that was a story th- that was my unique story, was that it was a widow who had become a solo parent, and that was not most people's story, or most people didn't tell that story. So I think I did that within the first like 9 months after Paul's passing. I used to write poetry when I was younger, and so I remember writing this like spoken word type piece all around numbers, and it was like all of the numbers that he and I experienced, like the date that we met, and like our birthdays, and like just all these different numbers that applied to us. And so I just kept finding ways to like pour out. And I remember, I think I posted that on social media maybe 6 months after his pass, 5 or 6 months after his passing, because that was just how my brain was working and processing like what was actually happening. So I may have made the decision much earlier, but then slowly started acting on actually doing things. And technically, I probably made the decision the moment I spoke at his funeral as well, because I actually spoke at his funeral too. So